So, I mean, when you think about on two is traditionally mambo, right? So, mambo is music that kind of developed from basically the Afro-Cuban rhythms from Cuba, specifically son.
Okay, right, yeah.
You know, was very prominent early 40s, 50s. Made its way, you know, got its popularity in Cuba. There were plenty of musicians from the United States who were traveling to Cuba, and they were hearing these rhythms. And just kind of the progression of that and the mixing of these cultures, you know, kind of through the, you know, great migration of musicians from Cuba to the United States, they started playing with all of these jazz musicians, right? And they started mixing the Afro-Cuban son rhythm that's also mixed with that, comes from danzón, has a, you know, cha-cha-cha, all these other rhythms, you know, mixed into it. And they started to kind of blend all these together in the jazz format, kind of big band jazz format. And mambo was kind of born out of that. So when you actually think about mambo, it's a very, although it's, you know, African, Cuban-based music, it really, its birth is really out of the United States, out of New York.
Okay. You know? So I heard it was from New York. Or, yeah. And I heard, I guess, On One more so originated from LA, is that correct? Or, you know about that?
Yeah, and I think it's when you start breaking it down into dances, right? Okay. So, like, at that time, it wasn't, you know, on Dancing on One, Dancing on Two. It was just you did mambo, right? Okay. Right? And that was your interpretation of the music. So there were all these different, you know, movements that you would apply to this type of music. And I think what, you know, really kind of evolved is people's like natural response to the music started to mix with formally trained, you know, dancers, kind of incorporating spins and tricks and things like that into the dance, and that's how the dance kind of evolved. And then you know, kind of much later on, it started to get these different identifications of, okay, dancing on one with your, you know, your prominent like motions or your breaks are happening on, you know, really what's the most prominent like kind of sound in music, which you can hear like
exactly, right.
And Dancing on Two, their interpretation is the response of their steps is their breaks and their big primary movements are in a very subtle portion of the music, and is much more connected to the percussion of the music. So I always say in my class, and I have no clue who to give this credit to. I've heard the quote a long time ago, and I can't remember who actually said it. But they said, you know, if you're dancing on one, you're almost dancing to the music, right, or on top of the music, and dancing on two, you're dancing within the music, right? So it's really just there's no different steps. There's no, you know, primary difference in the dance. They're all the same steps. But it's just what part of the music you're connecting to.
No, I'm curious.